Hi guys, I'm Los, and we're back with another episode of On the Torch, and we're really excited to introduce some special guests that we have here from Italy, Murano, Max, Danilo, and also our friend Federico.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys, we are so excited to bring you these guys for a demonstration. I know that we've showed off their studio on some of my trips to Italy before, so this time they came to Berkeley to work with us because we have different kinds of kilns and different kinds of equipment that makes like complex construction a little more easy than in Murano. So we have some examples of our work, and there's going to be some more stuff coming, so check out the Instagram and these guys' Instagram, which there'll be a link for in the video, and you can see what's happening. But I wanted these guys to just quickly introduce themselves and their family, and we also have Federico in the back, who's a friend of ours, and he's going to translate for them.
Ok, ciao a tutti, io sono Danilo.
Io sono Max. Ciao.
Veniamo da Murano, siamo venuti qui a trovare Dustin per fare una collaborazione di vetro e stiamo cercando di mescolare due tipi di lavorazione, il Murano antico che facciamo noi con le tecniche funzionali e quindi che usa Dustin.
So they are saying that they came from a really ancient family of glassblower, and they really like to work traditional Venetian old school style, and they're really curious and they like to match the new American pipe making style with the traditional one. So it's going to be a great adventure for them, and they're really excited about it. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're going to get right to it, but first I want to tell you guys that I'm smoking on some CBD as usual this week, and super relaxing from the clear concentrates, Baroni.
Nice, man. Yeah, I got some Golden Ratio Medi Haze, which is actually also a high CBD, but also has like 20% THC, so that's a nice balance for me.
Nice. Well, we're going to get to this goblet for you guys, and we'll see you in the outro. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. So there's Danilo, and like we said earlier, he has a huge lineage of glassblowing in his family. You'll notice he's using a Herbert Arnold torch, which is the German torch. It's really good. We have one over at the studio, and it works really good.
Yeah, he's gathering up a little bit of a color here, and this is what he's going to use to make one of those flower accents that are going to be on the goblet.
Yeah, those flowers, they're traditional. They probably date back to about the 17th or 18th century in Venetian glass.
Yeah, it's awesome to see them put them together too. They've just been doing it for so long. It's just instinctual the way they work, you know?
Yeah, totally. So you can see him pinching that out, and then he's using borosilicate glass here. So this is a transparent blue. It's probably the Glass Alchemy Blue Dream.
He's just adding little gathers onto that rod and then pinching them with his tweezers to create a nice little petal effect.
Yeah, and you can see he's adding petals, pinching them, and then pull just a little bit.
And he's just going and working a little further and further back on the rod, adding more and more petals to create those nice layers.
Yeah, and you can see that they're kind of moving and they're not like a straight petal, and so it has that movement of life when you see something and it's not perfectly straight in nature and it has a flow to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't look stagnant.
So he's just adding on petals, squeezing them, pulling, and you can see his brother Maximiliano in the background there, and me and Tim Burton. So he's just adding more and more flowers.
He's pulling out the ends of them to give them a little more detail at the end, give them a little pull. He goes around and does that on all of them. Now he's going to grab a green rod to add a little bit more of the leaf effect on the back there.
Yeah, and that's another transparent green from Glass Alchemy. So I know they've been working really hard on getting out some cool transparent colors.
So you put that green on there, and then he has that nice smasher with the mold on there, or the ridges that creates that nice leaf look. And he's going to do the same thing on the other side.
He's just gathering up the glass, holding it down a little bit to let gravity start to shape it out, and then grab his smashers and squeeze that, you want to squeeze it really fast and let go, and that way it won't suck out the heat when you're doing that stuff.
Yeah, you can see he can still work it after he smashed it down because he did it so quickly. So here he's going to add another leaf to finish that off.
There he goes, turning the glass around just to separate it nicely, and then he's going to smash that one more time. You can see tack really fast, and then it still has a lot of heat, and he can go and stretch it out. He's just evened the heat out a little bit, and then focused a little bit more heat on the tip to kind of twist that back.
Yeah, he does a little twist at the end to give it even more of an organic look, and then he's going to take it off the rod and put that in the kiln. So he actually ends up making 2 of those, but we showed you just one of those processes, just so you could see how that went down.
Yeah, now he's heating up some white glass and just getting that nice and warm, and heating up a big section of the glass because he wants to move a lot of it at once. So he's just pulling the stringer down. Grab it with the tweezers to create a little bit of a shock and separate it off. And now he's going to pull a point. So this is the way in Italy that they make all their work. They don't use the blow tube seals like we have here. So he's just grabbing it and heating up a nice big section, and then he's going to pull a small tube, and that's going to give him a handle to work the glass, like a punty or a blow tube.
Yeah, and that white stringer that he pulled earlier, that's going to be for a nice lip wrap that he's going to put on that goblet. So here we see him pull out that blank, looking nice, and now he's going to break off the end there so we can make sure he can blow into it, flame polish that, let that cool.
Yeah, another thing that a lot of people do, you can see him touching it kind of loosely in his hand until it's really nice and cold. And what he's doing right here is he's actually evening out the point. Every time you pull a point, you go back into the shoulder and you even it out, no matter how good you are. Like you can see these guys have been blowing glass for 50 years and they're masters, and they still every time go into the back of a point just to straighten it out, condense it a little bit right there in the end.
Yeah, and I've got to use some of their blanks that they've pulled the points on, and they're just so straight after they've worked that. It's really cool to work with some of their blanks.
Yep, so he's just pulling another point on the end of this, and then he's going to have a section that he can blow a bubble into.
Real nice hand control to get that nice even pull there, breaks that off. It's going to open up the end there, polish it off, and set that one to the side.
So this is some Chinese blue tubing that he's using, and in Italy they don't have all the supplies that they need because they just don't have the access like we do. And I know some of you guys in other countries also don't have the same kind of access to the wide variety of materials that we have these days. So they have a lot more access to the Chinese stuff, so they're really used to working with that tubing for making colored goblets. But we definitely had them use a lot of the colored rods that we have in the studio for some of the body of work that we created while they were here.
And here we see Danilo add a nice gather to the end of this blank. This is going to be the embolio where he'll connect the stem of the piece later.
Yeah, the evolio is the spacing piece in between the cup and the foot. So, or the foot, or the cup and the stem and the foot. That's that little spacer piece, and it's spelled AVOILO. A lot of the words in Italian, they mean directly what it is. So, like a punty is like to bring me something, and like there's a technique where you make a spiral stem. It's called a spirelli. There's a thing called ferretti, which is used in glass, but it literally means little iron, which it is. So a lot of these, the Italian words for these techniques are a description of the action or a description of the thing itself.
Here we see Danilo shaping this foot really nicely, giving it a nice kind of hollow Maria, and then he's going to open up this end to spin that foot out.
So he's just using a blade marver kind of thing on the back of his marver. It's this one doesn't have a sharp blade. It has a like a rounded edge, so that'll condense it and create a nice space and certain kind of shape that the blade won't do.
And then he uses diamond shears to open that up, and now he's using his jacks to get a nice even opening there.
So making that nice and even, and then he's using a pointed triangle, and that's another tool that's like similar to jacks or a reamer tool that's used for flaring.
Now he's going to do a lip wrap with that white. Nice even lip wrap all around that opening.
And you can see him turning the rod as he's doing that, and that's creating a nice even opening. And then he plucked off the little bleb on the end that would have made the spin out uneven.
Cleans that up a little bit with his paddle, getting some nice heat all along the bottom there, turning up the heat a lot now so he can really get a good heat.
And you can see there's a gradient heat. The hottest point is the lip, and then as it moves back, it gets colder and colder and colder. And then it's starting to open a little bit, and it's going to get some heat on the inside. Open it up with the jacks a little bit. You can see that thing is getting nice and hot, and he's focusing that heat on the inside and just spinning it and spinning it. Flare it open a little bit with the jacks, and he's got a nice looking foot there.
Yeah, just beautiful the way they open those up.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people use just gravity, a lot of people use jacks. Both of them are totally fine. It's whatever you think will work for you. So now he's got that foot.
So he's going to punty up to the other end of this. They decided to make this without using the claw tools. They wanted to do it a little bit more traditional, so it was all done on punties.
Yeah, so this will be good for you guys who are just building up your tool arsenal and don't necessarily have a claw tool that would work well for this. You can use a punny, and one of the things that you have to do is keep that warm if you're going to use a punny.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we got the foot ready, so Danilo's going to start working on the actual cup for the goblet.
Mm-hmm. So now he's just heating it up, and it's really similar to the foot. He's just creating a big bubble.
Getting some nice heat on that blank. Gonna remove one end of that and start working and shaping that.
And you can see that he's got carbon, a layer of carbon on that piece, and that's a way for him to tell what temperature it is. And by putting the carbon on and it burning off at around a annealing temperature and attaching around that, a little less than that temperature. So he's putting on an Nivolio.
Nice gather there, making sure that's nice and even on the piece, using that nice marver tool on the back.
You can use your jacks or any other shaping tools for this.
Now he's going to use that punty to attach to that end, make a nice solid connection there.
Making sure that's nice and even and straight, and then you can heat it up and blow out the top of the cup. So you can see that nice flame. That's actually my Herbert Arnold there, thanks to Mountain Glass Arts. You should definitely check them out. I know they usually have these guys in stock, but this is exactly one of the things that this flame is perfect for, is a really nice soaking flame that really creates a really nice even heat, and that's why they use it in Italy so much. And it's really cool to have it in the studio, so that when we're making goblets or even sensitive colors, it's a really good flame for.
Yeah, really good for that thinner wall, which they work with often for their goblets. It just creates a perfect kind of flame chemistry for it. Then we see Danilo blowing out that cup, making a nice bubble there, working it, heating it up a little bit, and shaping the back end of it.
Heating it up nice, and you can see him spinning really evenly, and he's shaping it out. He's pulling a little bit, and he's trying to create the perfect shaped cup for this particular goblet, which is going to be more of a cone. And then there's a lot of different shapes of goblets that these guys have, and I think we've shown you in some of the other videos that they have all kinds of different examples of different shapes in their studio, which is really cool to see the variety of the different shapes that can be made. You can see him just pulling out the bottom a little bit, just trying to make a nice even cone shape.
Yeah, their shaping is really, really impressive. The way they just put those things together.
Yeah, you can see him push a little bit, and that created a Maria on the bottom, like a soft Maria. And it's really an elegant shape that he's working on.
Now he's going to remove that front end there, so he can open up his piece, working it on that little blade with the round end to it. Working that down, and then he's going to use his diamond shears to break that open.
Yeah, so next thing he's going to do is grab that triangle tool again, and you see him open that up a little bit, and then get ready to put a lip wrap on that thing.
Notice his openings are really small. That way he's going to have a nice precise hole, and when he opens it up, it'll be nice and even, rather than opening up a large hole that you have to work a little bit more to even out.
It's true, and with seals, it's usually the same thing. You want to blow them smaller, and then expand into the final shape.
He's going to use some of that white there to do a nice lip wrap there. Match the base very nicely. You see he rotates that stringer as he's wrapping it around, so it has a nice even amount of color on there.
Yep, and that's one of the ways that you apply color for Marini. I think we talked about that in the Marini video too, is if you apply the color and twist it, it should apply evenly. And you can't do it in all applications, but when possible, it's good to do it. So you can see those jacks, really big jacks, but they give him a lot of control for when he's firing. So he's opening it up. And this is the same techniques that people would use in the furnace to flare things open. Heating up in the entire area he wants to move, and leaving the area that he wants to stay in the same place cold, so it won't move and move out of shape or anything like that.
Yeah, you get to see that really nice gradient of heat here from the really white hot areas to the orange to the cool blue areas.
Puts the bottom of it in the flame, now the top, and then moves it up and opens up that really nice lip for a really nice goblet.
Now he's going to check, make sure it's nice and even and straight there.
And pop that in the kiln, maybe.
No, that one he's actually going to leave out. He's going to leave out because he's going to use his hand to connect that one later.
Nice. And now we're going to switch off to Maximiliano. These guys are brothers, like we've told you before in some of the other videos, and they work together, and each brother has a specialty. So the story goes that one of the brothers told us that their mom wanted them each to have a different specialty, so they would never fight about who's doing what. And I don't know if it's true, but that's the story they told us.
That's a good way to keep them from arguing, right?
I guess so. So now Max is going to do his specialty, which is like finishing some stem work. Yeah, so at their studio, Max is usually working on stems for goblets.
Yep. He does a lot of the stem work, and then Danilo does a lot of the construction work, and we also have Carlo that wasn't able to make it out here, who does a lot of the sculptural work and some of the very detailed stuff.
Yeah, and he also does a lot of the business stuff.
Oh yeah. It's really cool to see the whole family kind of contribute to the business. I remember when I was there, I got to meet their mom as well, and she was there doing some work as well with the sons. So it's definitely a family affair with them.
Yep, and we got to meet his father when we were there too.
Oh, nice,
yeah,
nice.
It
That's
was
awesome.
Cool. And Max just had a baby, his first son. So,
next generation.
Yep. He's already started blowing glass. He's only 3 months old. Not true.
Gotta start him
Not
young.
True. So he's working on some cane right now. So you can see how he layered some color, put some orange on the outside, and this is going to be able to create the base of some nice twisted cane.
Yeah. So now he's going to heat up some of the clear that he's going to use to cover, he's going to putty up and then get remove of that color on that side there.
And you can do this basically on any scale. You can make this piece smaller and you can make it much, much bigger. The bigger base you have, the more you have per pole, but sometimes it's more easy to control something that's a little bit smaller.
Here he grabs, I believe it's some 10 millimeter clear rod that he's going to use to cover up both faces of that color that he's laid down.
So he's heating it up, the clear, and going to cover it in one side, one big ball, and do the same thing on the other side to make sure that he has enough clear glass to create a really nice even cane work.
Got a nice gather there, and same thing, he's going to go ahead and put that right on there, cover that up, and make sure that there's enough clear that entire color section is covered now in clear.
And you can see him just heating it up, and it's going to start to melt together and flow together.
Uses his tweezers to make sure it's nicely shut all the way around with clear covering that whole section.
Pushing in the sides, sealing that up really nicely.
Getting some nice heat, soaking that piece, getting it nice and hot, and then he's going to get his putty ready to attach to the other end so he can start pulling and twisting that out.
You can see the glass on the inside. It always looks really beautiful at this state, and right before you turn it.
And there you go. He starts twisting that guy up, spinning, pulling to get that nice cane.
So you're pulling it out, you can see the cane in there twisting. Pulling that out, it's nice and hot. He's gonna go around that mold and create the shape. He's got two molds there, and he went in between them to create a nice S.
Yeah, creates that nice S shape for the cane, for the stem of using that cane. He's gonna get rid of one end there, clean that up. And then he's going to use that end, twist it up a little bit, give it a little bit more of a flare.
So now he's going to grab it and detach the punny. And that's going to allow him to recenter it and easier to work.
Getting rid of that clear glass there. And then going to work that end again, get that nice twist in there.
So he pulls it out and twists this one in. He's just going in for a nice heat to get out any stress from the movement and clean it up a little bit and give it its final shape. Now he's going in with about a 10 millimeter clear rod and putting on some glass where he's going to have an voleo.
Evening that out, making sure that the cane is nice and straight before he makes his connection.
Now you can let go of it from the handle and attach another voleo on the top. So heat it up, twist off some glass, and then that'll be ready to attach the cup and the foot from those 2 points when all the sculpture on the stem is done.
Making little adjustments to the cane, making sure it's staying straight as he's heating it up.
Now he's heating it up and pulling just a little bit and creating a nice little shape and evening out any of the shaping that needs to be for its final design.
Picking up some clear blue here, he's going to add some layers to the side of the cane that he's going to then pinch out to create these nice little accents.
So he puts down one layer of cane. This is also a furnace glass technique. I believe it's called mezzostampo. If anyone knows, you're welcome to put that in the comments.
Lays down that nice line of color, and now he's going to heat that up get that nice and hot, and then using his tweezers, he's going to go through and work and pinch that. It makes a really very nice design.
And so what I've heard about this design, what I've heard about these things coming off the glass is that they were for food that was very greasy, so your glass would not slip out of your hand. That is the so, you know, there's always these stories and these rumors when you go to Italy, and, you know, I don't know if it's true or not, but
it's a little hand grip there.
Yeah. You know, when you're eating a big shank of something.
A little greasy pizza,
Yeah.
you know,
No,
don't want to...
pizza. They probably had, like, just meat.
Oh,
Straight,
okay,
like,
gotcha. Just
meat.
a big old meat chunk.
Yeah. Who knows if that's true. But anyway, they're very elegant, and they look really good. You can do them in all different colors, and it's a very Italian kind of technique.
Yeah, so he's laid those down, making those final adjustments, little twist on that section there where the gap is. Very classy.
So now he's going back in on the other side with some transparent blue. I think it's the Blue Dream, but it'll go good with the cup and the foot.
Yeah, and he went through and did the same process that he did on that last side, pinched that out and created a nice even pattern on both sides.
Yeah, we didn't show you both of those because it's the same thing, and you can kind of, you know, if you need to watch it again, just pause the video and rewind it and check it out, because we wanted to make sure to include this whole process in one video for you guys.
And here we're gonna see the attachment of those nice flowers that Danilo made earlier. Getting that right on the cane, one on center there. Very beautiful.
So these guys collab with each other every single day.
Yeah.
That's how all their work gets done.
And then he's grabbing that other flower and putting it on the back end of there.
Yeah, just make sure both of those are nice and hot. Stick it on, pull just a little bit.
Yeah,
Nice to-
adjust that, make sure it's nice and straight. It's awesome to see the way they work, handing things off and helping each other out.
They don't even need to talk to each other. Everyone knows what point the piece is at, and you just do your job, and they don't ever talk about what they're making. They just talk to each other about who knows what.
So here, Maximiliano's making a little section to add a little bit more elegance to the piece.
And you can see the nice the mold that he used there. It's a fin mold, and that's another Italian mold. And a lot of times you might see these balls coated in gold too. So you're just going to attach that to the piece.
Nice even heat on both pieces, bringing it in, pressing that nice and evenly, using that blade tool to even it out, and then remove the punty from the top.
Now he's going to grab the top just by hand, so he can show you guys that you can construct a goblet like this by hand. And as you guys are making your goblets, make sure that you put them in the Revere Glass Gallery on Facebook, which is called Revere Glass Gallery if you guys don't know. And you can post pictures, and Carlos and I and everyone in the community loves to check them out.
Yeah, so here he's using the punty and then holding the cup on the other side, bringing that together, making nice even connection. Takes a lot of really even handwork to get that. And then he's finishing it off there, making sure it's nice and even.
Nice and even. Grabs it with the punty. And now he's taking off the punny and getting ready to attach the foot.
So he's going to make another one of those nice little ball sections there, even that out, and then connect that to the other end, and that's where he's going to make his connection.
Grab a little punny, and then he's going to take that off so that it has a really nice point to attach to. Grab the foot and put that on the foot. And there's Jim in the back, and he owns Red Ox, and there's a company that makes bags. I think we featured one of the bags in the video, and it's the bag that I use for traveling. So he's got a cool factory, and they make nice bags.
Max making that nice connection there, evening that out, and then taking the punty off, getting that foot ready to connect to the rest of the piece.
Grab the piece and the foot and heat them both really nicely. And connect it.
Nice even heat, making sure that's nice and hot, rotating that piece as much as you can so you can evenly heat it while you're spinning the other one, and then make a nice even connection there.
Push that on, and then go onto your marver to even that out. And this is a point where you have to be very careful of that punny, because you have to do this quick so your foot can't cool down too much. So when you knock off the punny, you don't want to crack the foot.
Yeah, so that's a nice way to get that off. And now finishing that off, we're going to throw that in the kiln, and we're all done.
Yeah, put that in the kiln. You just want to anneal that at 1050 and close up the kiln. It was such a pleasure having the brothers here. You can see their goblet. It's really nicely shaped. The top part is beautiful with all the transparent colors, and the stem.
Oh, that stem is just gorgeous with all those details, the flowers and the cane. Just a real masterpiece.
Yep, and this goblet is for one of you guys. These guys were nice enough to donate the piece for the videos and for one of you guys. So just comment on the video, let us know what you think, tell us what you want to see, say hi, whatever, and we'll choose one of the winners. Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you for watching this video. We really hope that you learned something, maybe a trick or two, or something that you can use in your own work. It was just amazing watching these guys make this classical goblet. I mean, these kind of shapes probably date back to like the 1600s.
Yeah.
And they're making really traditional stuff. And the fact that they didn't use any tools, and you guys can see how easy it is. So I really expect some of you guys to post some stuff just like this.
Just like this.
In the Revere on Facebook. We'd love to see it. It takes practice. I love to try it, but it's
amazing to see how fluid they work, right? And you guys got a little glimpse of that because they pump out tons of these.
Yeah.
How
many a day do you think they make?
Yeah, how many a day do you think they make? Like 100 a day or so?
No. I bet like 20 though.
Yeah.
Quanti ne fate al giorno? Più o meno 20 o 30?
No,
più.
meno.
Tanti di meno.
Of the complicated ones, but they're also pumping out the smaller glasses and other things, and so to see them hand over the work at each other, it's so cool to see.
And just how smooth they are, because they sit, you guys saw in the last videos, that they sit around a table, and they're just working next to each other all day long, and they're just so, they don't even have to talk. They know where the other person's at, here's the part, you're ready to go, they know what they're going to do. It's just like this fluid flow of creation.
It's really cool to see.
It's beautiful.
I got some questions for you, Dustin.
Cool.
Awesome. So, first question is from A.M. Garcia, and they're asking if you've tried to fume with platinum yet.
I have done it. Platinum has a really high melting and vaporization point. So, I've got some little colors and little effects by it. I wonder if maybe making an alloy might help by lowering the temperature of the metal. But in general, it's been difficult, and I haven't really gotten like really cool results that I have gotten from silver and gold and a mixture of those metals.
Nice. Next question is, what's the reasoning behind the braided hoses on your torch?
Oh, nice, good eye. Well, it's better looking.
Yeah.
But it also keeps the hoses out of the way. It keeps like everything a little bit more clean. You can twist them if you just have a two-stage torch as opposed to a three-stage torch. I've done it for a long time, but it's not necessary. It's just a personal choice.
Sure. And we're actually going to ask a question to our guest here. We wanted to know what's the difference between blowing glass in Murano and then now that you guys have visited here in the United States.
Mi chiedevano qual è la differenza tra soffiare il vetro di Murano e qua invece in America.
Sostanzialmente la differenza è gli spessori di vetro, perché noi a Murano siamo specializzati nella lavorazione del vetro leggero. più leggero è, meglio è. Mentre qui in America è l'esatto contrario, perché deve essere una cosa funzionale e deve essere robusta. Per cui loro lavorano molto spessi e noi lavoriamo molto leggeri.
Okay. Yeah, basically the thickness, of course, and they usually work really, really light compared to the EV wall thickness of the pipe making in US.
Yeah, even a large piece like this, it's very thin and it's actually much lighter than an average rig.
Yeah.
You know, so they've definitely said they feel the weight on the functional pieces.
Yeah, and it needs to be more robust because it's thicker and it needs to have, it's going to have more use, and you know, so I don't know, but the thickness seems to always be, you know, what they call and talk about that.
Yeah, and so we're actually also going to be giving away one of these cappuccinos here.
So this is a carb cap. It's all the way hollow, and so you can put it on and you can adjust the flow like that.
Perfect. So it's a good interaction between the Italian style and again that functional style.
Totally.
And we'd said we'd be giving a Marini, but we thought this was a little bit more appropriate for you guys and wanted to share it with you. So Tomato 48 will be getting the cappuccino. He posted a little timeline link to our video.
It was a good catch. It was
a
thank
good
you for
catch.
sharing it because we really enjoyed seeing that, and I don't think we'd really noticed that.
Yeah, I know. I did the editing. I didn't notice that. So if you guys haven't seen it, go to his comment and click on that link, and you'll see a little funny little blooper from Davide, which was nice to see. But that's it, right?
Well, thank you guys again for joining us. We'll be back soon with another video, and
thank
we
you
wanted
to the
thank you guys
ballerines
for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Grazie.
It was awesome.
Grazie mille. Thank you, Federico, for translating as well, guys.
Thank to you.
We'll be back soon with another video for you guys. Until then, take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.